Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. GalaxEye, a space tech startup, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Space Promotion and Authorization Center, an autonomous agency under the Department of Space. With this, GalaxEye will gain first access to IN-SPACe's new co-working and testing facilities in Ahmedabad. The partnership leverages ISRO's expert advice and testing facilities to launch India's first private Earth observation satellite constellation. Joining me now to discuss this further is Suyash Singh, the co-founder and CEO of GalaxEye. Suyash, thank you so much for joining us on Startup Street today. Now, you've signed this memorandum of understanding with IN-SPACe. So talk to us about what this MOU entails and elaborate on how this will help you scale.
First of all, thanks so much for having me here. I think INSPACe is an organization where a private ecosystem who's building any space technology can, find ways to develop and gain access to research and testing facilities, which primarily was with ISRO earlier, and we can also gain some of those facilities using, help of INSPACe. For us, this MOU kind of entails wherein we can tap help from INSPACe to take certain permissions. So there are some certain regulatory items that we need to clear off before we launch a satellite into space, such as space object registration, ITU clearances, and so many more. So I think, in a way, the authorization to launch a satellite into the orbit,
Right,
and a bunch of other things such as gaining access to testing facilities, gaining access to launch vehicle, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a fantastic single window for any startups to go and tap into that.
Absolutely. Also, why don't you simplify for us what you do at GalaxEye, right? You're a space tech startup aiming to build the world's first multi-sensor Earth observation satellite. So talk to us about the journey and capabilities of the satellite, and who will you sell this to?
So in a nutshell, what we do here is bring photos from space, undisturbed, unperturbed because of any cloud cover or even during the nighttime. So we want to make sure that you are able to monitor a particular area of interest throughout the year. And that is our uniquely differentiated offering. So unlike traditional or conventional satellites, which is generally occluded by clouds, and you don't have the right vision capability towards the Earth. GalaxEye is solving exactly that problem by bringing you the most consistent, available, and understandable images, even during clouds and during nighttime as well.
Right.
Our customers range from different domains, starting with someone like agriculture to insurance on the commercial side, as well as, it'll be very helpful for the national security and defense purposes.
All right. So those are the customers. Are you in talks with anybody regarding these products that you have right now?
Absolutely. I think while we are in the process to launch our first satellite in the next coming months,
Right.
we're also talking to a bunch of customers to help them understand what is going to come and what's around the corner with the help of simulated data sets and many other analytics platforms. We also heavily rely on AI. Right? It is not just a satellite that's going to space, but it's an intersection of AI with space tech that is coming together to help the end customer and the end user.
Right. So an intersection of AI and space tech there. But you're also building India's first private constellation of Earth observation satellites, right? So talk to us about the Drishti mission. That's what you're calling it. How soon can we expect the launch, and what will this constellation do? Also, how will your partnership with IN-SPACe help fast track this mission?
I think we're definitely preparing and getting up for the first launch very soon, right? It might take some time, around 10 to 12 months from now. The idea is to, kind of give all the users as a capacity with the constellation that we are going to build over the time to kind of monitor their areas with a certain cadence or with a certain requirements of their imaging, right? So for example, if you want to monitor a farmland on a weekly basis, so we'll give you one image every week to understand what is happening, if the crop is growing, if something is happening with the cropland. So that is what is going to happen, and it's in the bag. INSPACe definitely will be very, very helpful, and they have been very helpful. It's not just that they've signed the MOU, then only they became helpful. But they certainly, it's a formal activity now, wherein we get into understanding their perspective on getting permissions on certain regulatory items, right? So starting with, let's say, space object registration. So India as a sovereign country has to be responsible for any space object that goes into the orbit. And so we need to be very, very mindful of that. And we have to keep someone like them in the loop. So I think it's a fantastic platform for not just us, but a larger space tech ecosystem which is growing in the country to go and tap into their experience
Absolutely.
to get the applications done.
Yeah. In 30 seconds, if you could just tell us, you've also developed a UAV SAR system for defense markets and claim to have completed over 200 successful flights. So take us through the demand and use cases for this product.
Synthetic aperture radar generally is very helpful in understanding or gathering image during adverse conditions, weather conditions such as fog or cloud and stuff. Mounting the sensor on a UAV or on a satellite is a similar thing, right? It just flies at different altitudes. So our sensors have a capability to look into adverse weather conditions and give it to the defense customers, right? So for example, if you want to do border monitoring or any other use cases such as like that, you need such advanced sensors to get information about the activities or any changes that is happening near the regions. Yeah.
All right, Suyash, thank you so much for joining us on the show today, and we wish you all the best with this new partnership that you've also signed.
Thank you so much for having me here.
All right, thanks for taking us through that conversation. On that note, we're going to wrap up this edition of Startup Street. From Arundhati and me, it's a goodbye, but stay with CNBC-TV18. More news and updates will continue on the other side.